Welcome to Dark Horizon Creations. I'm Mike. This time we're taking a look at the Disney Pixar Lightyear Hyperspeed series XL-01 by Mattel. Now, if you hadn't already, please follow, like, and subscribe to my social media accounts on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Don't forget to hit that bell icon so you get a notification of when I post new content. Okay, I have to admit, I am not a fan of Buzz Lightyear and I'm not a fan of Disney. But I was in an area Walmart recently and I saw these spaceships hanging on a peg and I could not resist. I had to have them because I really like the way that they look. They remind me of some of the die-cast toy spaceships that I had back in the early 80s. And that's really what attracted me to these toys. I really like the design of this particular ship, the XL-01 with Buzz Lightyear. And as you can see, it's got a very aerodynamic shape to it. Massive thrusters at the rear, sharp angular lines, and of course a really cool miniature action figure of Buzz Lightyear to pilot the spacecraft. Now, it's my understanding in Lightyear, the spacecraft are powered by some sort of green crystal, and I don't know if each of the identifier codes for each of these spacecraft means that he progresses through different ships throughout the film. I presume that's what it means. I don't really know. I haven't been able to find out any sort of technical information on these ships whatsoever, other than the fact that they look really cool. This retails here in the US at area Walmarts for $11.97 each, and I think there's 4 or 5 that are sold at Walmart. I think there is one that might be a Target exclusive. It's a transport ship. I'm not really for certain, but I haven't seen it sold anywhere else. So one of the cool things about this toy is the packaging. I really like the design of the packaging. I like the blister card with the ship situated at an angle on the inside. I think that's really cool for presentation. It's also really cool for collectors if you want to buy a couple of these and store them away as a collectible. On the back, you have your obligatory product shots of some of the features. It does have retractable landing gear. The wheels do not roll, but it is retractable. And as you can see, there are 4 different ships from Buzz Lightyear in the Hyperspeed series, and then you've got the drop pods for the Zurg, which is sort of reminiscent of the drop pods for the Covenant and Halo. And then, as I previously said, there's also 2 other ships. There's a Zurg Starfighter, and there is also a transport ship for Buzz Lightyear and one of the other pilots. Okay, and here's the XL-01 spacecraft outside of the packaging, and you can see that I've purchased 2 of these. I've already repainted this one. This is my favorite design out of all these little ships that they're offering in the Hyperspeed series, and it's just really, really cool design. I like the way this thing looks, and this is why I purchased these, to do a product review and to repaint them. And just use them for toy photography and things like that. I had some really cool ideas the moment I saw these, and we'll kind of see where this goes. But if you notice, it's just got some really nice angular lines to it all the way around. It is just a really cool looking spacecraft. I do like the large 4 engines at the back and how they're angled as well. The downward angle of the wings, how the engine intakes are angled up. It's just a really cool use of geometry and symmetry in a toy, particularly for a spacecraft. And that's one of the things that attracted me to this. I really like the way it looks. From the bottom, it has almost the same profile as a Colonial Viper from Battlestar Galactica. And you can see I've also repainted the landing gear, and they will fold up into the wheel well, and the cockpit does open, and you can see I repainted it as well. repainted the visor on Buzz Lightyear. He is removable. It's easier to get him out with a pair of hobby tweezers, if you want to know the truth. I repainted the interior of the cockpit, and you can see he just has minimum articulation. His arms move up and down. You can position him in a seated position and replace him in the cockpit. And the size of the figure sort of reminds me of the Zoids that we had back in the 80s. They were smaller than this, but that's what it reminds me of anyway. And the rear landing gear are easier to deploy. Well, the front one came down as well. Now, if you want to talk about length and width of this particular toy, it is right at 7 inches in length, and that is right around 18 centimeters for those of you across the pond. The wingspan on it is right at 4 inches. One of the things I want to point out is this little port on the bottom. I initially thought this was for a flight stand, and I thought, okay, mine didn't include one, until I began doing a online search, and I discovered there's a gimmick, toy missile launcher that plugs into here, and that's what that's for. There's a 2-pack of these ships being sold online, and it has the little missile launcher that goes in there. It's still a really cool toy. I'm not through repainting this yet. I'm still working on it. But I wanted to take the opportunity to review it for all of you. If you like spaceships and collectibles like this, miniature spacecraft and things like that, go for it, because it's only $11.97. You know, you're not gonna lose anything on this. Seeing a new toy like this is sort of refreshing. You know, it's something new to focus on. And I do intend to review all of the ships in this Hyperspeed series. So there you have the Disney Pixar Lightyear Hyperspeed series XL-01 and Buzz Lightyear by Mattel.